If you spent any time on social media, you've probably seen another big aviation headline, like a Delta flight averts after an engine warning, a United flight returns because of a landing gear issue, two airliners become within a few hundred feet of each other at Boston Logan, forcing a go-around, or maybe even another FAA investigation. It almost seems as if aviation is falling apart. But is it? Well, let's think back 20 years ago. If an airplane had to return back to its airport for a maintenance issue, you probably would have never heard about it. Today, before an airplane even reaches the gate, a video is already uploaded on TikTok. I mean, we have flight tracking websites now that show where every single plane is every single second. News organizations publish articles that make the big headlines in all of a few minutes. And suddenly a precautionary landing becomes the biggest aviation story of the day. I mean, honestly, we have Delta flight diverts after engine warning, United flight returns after landing gear issue. But here's the important part. Both of those airplanes landed safely. Headlines make them sound terrifying. The actual outcomes show the aviation safety system working exactly as it is designed to. However, it's impossible to talk about aviation without talking about Boeing. Since the 737 MAX crashes, the company has been faced with intense scrutiny over manufacturer quality inspections and production practices. The 2024 Alaska Airlines door plug blowout only intensified those concerns, leading to expanded FAA oversight. More recently, investigators in Germany said a Boeing 787 nose gear collapse at the gate was linked to a misplaced lock pin during maintenance, highlighting that not every Boeing headline stems from the same problem. That's what makes these stories so difficult. Some involve manufacturing, some involve maintenance, some involve airline procedures, some have nothing to do with Boeing at all. However, this is where things become more concerning. Near misses aren't new. They just become one of FAA's biggest area of focus. Just recently, two commercial airliners at Boston Logan came within roughly 300 feet of one another before one crew executed a routine go-around. Everyone landed safely, but the FAA opened an investigation. FAA data has shown that runway incursions remain a persistent challenge, with little sustained improvement over the past several years. These are the incidents that deserve attention, but they also demonstrate something very important. Layers of safety, including air traffic control, onboard collision avoidance systems, and trained flight crews, are designed to prevent close calls from becoming accidents. Every time a flight diverts, people always ask, why didn't they just keep going? Well, the answer is simple. Airlines don't reward unnecessary risk. They reward good decision making. If a warning light appears, if a system isn't behaving normally, or if something doesn't look right, crews are trained to land at the safest airport available. That's exactly what happened with the recent Delta diversion after an engine warning and the United return following a reported landing gear issue. In both cases, the aircraft landed safely and passengers continued their trips later. And after reading all these reports, one thing stood out to me. Aviation is not perfect. Boeing has challenges, air traffic control faces staffing issues, airlines deal with maintenance, weather, operational pressure every single day. But the reason it feels like aviation is falling apart isn't just because of what's happening in the skies. It's because we've never had more visibility into what happens behind the scenes. Every little mishap or diversion becomes a viral video. Every precautionary landing becomes a new headline. Every investigation is followed by millions of people online. And while those stories can be alarming, they also show an industry that investigates problems, learns from them, and continually works to improve. Essentially what I'm saying, the next time you see a scary aviation headline, there's nothing to be scared of. Aviation is not falling apart. Read behind the headline. Because in aviation, the full story is almost always more interesting than the first one you hear. Anyways, thank you so much for watching.